Hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me if there's anyone out there in cyberspace, if you're still awake. So it's Resolution Challenge Kickoff Day. Yay! And it wouldn't be a day without technical issues. If you happen to be a tech person and you know anything about line errors, I am all ears. You can email me and I would love it. The good news is that I just sent you to your inbox, which you know if you're watching this link. I just sent part 1 of the resolution challenge. Second part of the good news is that tomorrow is Friday, and that means tech support will be back open. So I will get everything fixed and to you ASAP. So what you're viewing tonight and what I'm about to share with you on screen share is just part 1 of the resolution challenge. And I'm so bummed because it would have been this big aha moment when you see it, the full program in the digital flip book that's coming your way tomorrow. You'll know why I'm a little sad and disappointed that I just had to send you a regular old PDF. Wah, wah, wah. But that's okay. The most important thing is for you to have the information in your hands and to start reading through the detox, especially for those who are new, so that you feel confident and you feel comfortable just knowing what's in store and all of that jazz. So I'm trying not to stress about it. I'm trying to live in the meow. So we're going to roll with it. Anyway, I'll have everything fixed and ready for you for tomorrow. And I'll keep you posted on that without emailing you 75 times. So I'll just email you once when it's out. For those of you who are in Seattle, we have events on Sunday. So check your email for the link or check the Facebook community. We have a class at 8:30 at Belltown Ballet. And then we have some nutrition classes. I'm going to add, I think, a couple evening slots as well. I left Saturday open just in the emergency case for right now that the PDF doesn't get fixed so that I can fix that. But if I get everything fixed by tomorrow, which I'm sure that we will, I'll add some things on Saturday too. So just kind of waiting for 7:30. Oh, it hit 7:30 to roll around to give people time to get in who wanted to watch. I want to walk you through just really quickly part 1 to just give you an idea of what's coming up for you and to give you some insight on how to really use the program, the materials you have now to the best of your ability over the weekend. So the program doesn't really start until January 5th, so coming up on Monday. And the great thing about what's starting on Monday is that it's still a really nice ease in. Depending on where you're coming from, you might look at the program and think, whoa, that's a huge departure from what I'm used to eating or what I've been eating over the holidays. But it really is just a general clean eating protocol. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit now, but we will also have a more detailed webinar on Sunday to really talk about the detox and making it work for you. So I'm going to flip over to screen share right now and share. Okay. Is that the one that I want? Yes. Okay. So you should be with me on the resolution challenge. Excuse me as I scroll up here to the very, very top. I'm going to walk you through. Let's see here. So we start out, if this were your pretty digital magazine, this would look so much cooler. So there's a lot of just stuff at the beginning to go through. The cool thing is you are able to see the table of contents, so you know the entire program that's coming. Now, to get you this emergency backup of part 1 tonight, I actually had to retype the last 5 pages. So when you look at your table of contents, if you notice that any of the page numbers are off, just bear with me for right now. It will be fixed when you get your full guide tomorrow. But you can see everything that's coming up. The guide ended up being over 70 pages, which is why I ran into the tech issues to begin with. It started out with having to compress the file, and then there was an error on the file. So start out with some images of the community. You can click on that. It will take you to the Facebook group. So for those of you who are not a member of the Facebook group, if you click on that image, it will take you there. You have a little note from me and my wishes for the new year. And then we get right into the resolution challenge. Your guidebook starts with an overview, just a general overview of what the resolution challenge really is. It talks about the tech specs so that you'll understand Uberflip once we get to the digital magazine, and also talks about the coaching and community aspect and gives you general guidelines for how to behave in the community. I don't think we really need a lesson on that, but just in case, you know. Um, and if you're not, again, a member of the community, I really recommend it. You don't need to be totally active on Facebook. You don't even have to be really active in the community. No one expects you to comment on every post. It's great to give support where you can, but we know that a lot of people are not on Facebook. So if you want to just create an account for the community, that would be great, and just pop in whenever you can. Okay, so the resolution challenge, as it says here, is broken down into 2 phases. The first one being the detox, and that's what we want to focus on. And that picture right there of the coffee is not a tease. You can still have coffee during your prep in week 1. So what we're doing right now through Monday is just really prepping. You don't need to be following any perfect program. You don't need to be following any set protocol per se. It's just a matter of kind of taking inventory of where you are right now, looking ahead at where you will be on Monday, and figuring out the best plan of action so that you feel your absolute best. I know that most of you will need to work through the detox unless you're taking the whole 3 weeks off, which is awesome. So I want you to do the best you can to really pre-cleanse and get ready for success so that you're not overwhelmed with symptoms. So the main suggestions that I have now for folks are just to eliminate things like artificial sweeteners. You should probably do that like forever. Eliminate soda. Even though caffeine isn't really taken out with the exception of week 2 of the detox, I recommend scaling back on it just to kind of get a feel for what your body runs like without major amounts of caffeine. And then start focusing on, instead of thinking about what you have to take out, start focusing on what you can usher in terms of drinking more water, adding in greens, which is really, really important. If you'd like to avoid any of the unpleasant / slightly embarrassing detox symptoms, I would start adding in more greens now. And then eliminate dairy and gluten. And this is a big one, eliminate alcohol. So we're coming off of the holidays, good idea to eliminate alcohol. And then in terms of just getting your mindset ready, there's just a few notes on making sure that you're prepared by reading the program. So reading just even the part 1, this little guide that I'm giving to you right now, reading it from start to finish, reading it again, especially if you're new, just to make sure that you feel really confident. And as you read through, mark down any questions you have for me, and you can ask those in the community, which is the best place to ask so that you can help your fellow glows, because you're usually not the only one thinking that. Or you can send me an email as well. I am away from my desk a lot this weekend, so if you can ask in the community, great. But I'm going to do my best to catch up on email over the next couple of days. So I also suggest looking over the meal plans, making notes of any food swaps that you want to make, cleaning out your pantry and kitchen. This is super important. And then making a great space for yourself. So clean out your kitchen, not just in terms of clearing out the food that's not so healthy for you, but making it a space that's inviting for you. You know, there's nothing worse. Well, there are things in the world that are worse, but it's not very pleasant to go into a kitchen and try to do food prep when it feels crammed and cluttered. So really make a point to clean space for yourself so that you feel welcome in your own kitchen. And the same for where you eat too. One point of the detox is for us to really slow down on all levels, and that includes how we eat. And a lot of us eat at our desk or we eat on the go. I am totally guilty of that. And I really want to make an effort for the next few weeks and beyond to create a special place for myself. And for me, it's usually I'm just eating for one, eating with one person, myself. So it kind of seems silly in a way to set a nice place setting for myself, light a candle, turn on some Lionel Richie. But I am TMI. I am going to do that anyway over the next few weeks and really make it a point to sit down and make each meal special. And, nutrition is the highest form of self-care, or one of the highest forms. So each meal should feel special as often as we can. Um, and then there's more notes on the community, just pushing that a little bit more. It's just so helpful to be surrounded by like-minded women and to share in the success and to share in struggles. I did make a note in there about sharing in the struggles. I think it is, there's something to be said about having a sacred space online too, where you can go to and you know that it's positive. I don't know about what your regular Facebook feed looks like, but mine is just filled with people complaining about their lives. So I really look forward to going into the For the Glow community because I know it's going to be filled with motivation, and I try to lead the charge on that. So it's not to say that you can't go into the community and voice a concern or a complaint or vent your frustrations, but we want to, without sounding like you have to sugarcoat everything, because that's not the intent either. But can we find a way to find a silver lining in the struggle that you're going through? Instead of just unloading, can you find a way to make it a positive, and so we walk away from your post feeling something positive? Anyway, I think you get the idea. So moving on from there, we get into the detox section, which water is really the symbol, I think, for detox. It's so clarifying and cleansing and healing. I really believe this is the most important part of your journey. And I know that there will be people who skip over it, and that's okay. I know not everyone is ready for it, or you're just still have some questions, or you don't want to do it at all. That's okay too. But I think before you decide not to do it, I hope that you'll read through and get a better understanding for what I think a detox is. It's unfortunate because we have such a crazy fitness and diet industry that is just, it's sensory overload these days of diet books and programs and protocol and celebrity diets, this, that. It's all over the place. And detox is a word that's really thrown out a lot. And it's associated with weight loss, which really, I almost said something not nice. Censor my language here. It upsets me because detoxification is not for weight loss. You should never take on a detox for weight loss. We detox in order to set our bodies up for successful weight loss down the road. So right now we're healing, we're getting our body back in balance, we're rebooting from a stressful winter where we ate a little bit more sugar than we normally do. So it's about restoring. The only reason to do a detox is for healing purposes. And that word is usually associated with chronic illness, but in For the Glow terms, it just means to restore. It means to restore balance and to restore health and vitality and strength. So, yeah, that's what I think about detox. It's for health. It's for wellness. It's for setting you up for success, whatever your goal may be, whether it's weight loss, increased athleticism, endurance, energy. This can really give you a clean slate, but it can be uncomfortable. So it's a matter of really listening to your body, giving it what it needs. It's not the time to work harder, do more, move faster. It's a time to slow down. So if you're someone, like most of us, who struggles with the art of slowing down and doing nothing, the detox will probably push some emotions to the surface. And that's a great thing. You're going to find out very soon that it's not just about detoxing from food. It's about detoxing from a lot of things in our life that's no longer serving us. And as we enter into January, that's why it's such a great time of year to do this, because we're kind of all in the mood to shake off things that are no longer working for us, whether it's relationships, our personal relationships, our relationships with food and our own wellness, the views we have of ourselves, the negative ones, it's time to let them go. There's a whole heck of a lot of things that you could just let go of. So that's what the detox is all about. It really is holistic. It's whole body, mind, body, spirit involved. Anyway, so blah, blah, blah about the detox. You can read all about what I think on detoxification, the healing protocol. And there's a point on page 13 where it talks about choosing your own adventure. It does give suggestions for clients who want to skip the detox entirely. You could fast forward to phase 2. once you get phase 2 tomorrow. But you could do some daily detox strategies, simple things like starting each day. Everyone should do this with warm water and lemon. Simple things to improve your digestion. Just drinking one green drink per day would be a great way to start. And I think that's an important thing to point out. We'll talk more about this in detail on Sunday, but if you have to be honest with yourself of where you're starting from, even if you've done a detox before. So if you are starting out and you're really super stressed out, you know your diet has been primarily processed foods, you've had a lot of sugar, you've had a lot of caffeine, you've had a lot of alcohol, you will not have fun in the detox. So I recommend that you stay on week 1 until you kind of hit your stride and break free of some of the symptoms, or kind of stick to these daily detox strategies until you feel a little bit better. And we will talk on Sunday about what normal detox symptoms are and what they are not. And again, it just comes down to listening to your body. Moving on, for healthy and experienced clients who want an accelerated detox, I've also given you an outline for what you can do. You can perform the pre-cleanse leading up to January 5th. I would definitely still perform week 1 as directed, but then you can just kind of chill out in week 2 for a couple of weeks. And then catch up with us in the slim down phase. And I also made note of an alternate ending, which you can read there too. So there are other ways to accelerate the detox process. And we will talk about accelerating the process in terms of adding in more superfoods. I will also have that. And keep in mind too, your real resolution challenge guide is infused with coaching videos every step of the way. So for those of you who are looking for a more superfood dense experience and you have easy access to Whole Foods, and we're so blessed in Seattle, we have everything at our fingertips. So for those of you who are in an area where you have everything at your fingertips, or you're willing to order and you really want to up the game a little bit, I gotcha. We're going to talk about that. So that's coming up. This page, speaking of videos, so choose your own adventure, in your Uberflip guide, this will have videos on what we just talked about. So moving into week 1 of the detox, that's where we're all starting out on Monday. This is truly a clean eating protocol. So this is a space that you could stay in for longer than a week and be safe. I also feel like it's a safe space for you to continue doing workouts, which you'll have workout guidelines coming up tomorrow. But it's just a really healthy, cool space to be in. It's going to be a fun week. Yeah, fun. Okay, so things to avoid this week: dairy, with the exception of ghee, which needs to be an organic grass-fed source, and we'll talk more about ghee on Sunday. If you have questions on ghee, Google is a good place to start, and we'll talk about that on Sunday. It will be in your other videos. Other things to avoid this week: gluten, meat, soy, alcohol, processed foods, excess sugars, heated oils, roasted nuts and seeds, nut milks with added sweetener or carrageenan. Basically just avoid everything. No, I'm just kidding. There are also a few high glycemic veggies that you want to avoid, such as carrots and potatoes and beets. There's more about that on the next page. So the thing to think about, and I just kind of joked about the what not to do, but you want to think about what you can have, not what you can't have. My specialty in nutrition is detoxification. So I want to make sure that you know that you're in good hands. And the important thing to realize is that this nutrition protocol is balanced for someone who is living the detox lifestyle overall. So if you're going to continue to run a marathon every day, this isn't the program you want to do. But if you're okay with slowing your roll a little bit, week 1 is okay. You'll notice in week 2, you need to kind of back off. But you just got to embrace the detox lifestyle overall, and then it's totally safe. So for those of you who are carnivores, meat comes back into your life on week 3. You do have cage-free eggs, organic eggs, in week 1. If protein is a concern, just remember that really the most important thing to remember about protein is assimilation. So it's not really gram count that matters with protein, it's protein density. And plant-based protein is more dense, more protein dense and nutrient dense than animal products. So spirulina, in terms of protein density, will trump a steak any old day. So it's not to say that I don't love meat. I'm definitely a primal eater, but even I find it a benefit at the beginning of the year to scale back from animal products and really turn up my plant-powered game and get to it. Now, for those of you who are primal and you're grain-free, this detox is not heavy in grains, but it does feature grains. So you can do the best you can to omit and work around that. Just do the best you can and ask if you have any questions on making that work for you. Once we get into phase 2, the slim down, you'll see that there's more of a universal primal approach. So moving on, life is good. Look at all the food you can have. So a ton of foods on here, delicious foods. Organic cold pressed oils to help you flavor up your salads. Nut milks, you can definitely buy the boxed nut milks. That's totally fine. Although making your own, especially with things like hemp hearts, is super easy. Make sure it's carrageenan free. That's a preservative that we want to steer clear from because it is harmful or potentially harmful to our digestive system. And our mission right now is to really improve digestion. So we don't want that. You want to make sure too that the nut milks are unsweetened, organic, and detox in general. In case I forget to put the word organic next to the food, you should really strive in life in general to eat organic, but especially during a detox process, that's when we want to spring for the extra money that it costs to buy organic. It's worth it. So nuts and seeds, organic and raw. We want to avoid heated oils, which are rancid and very, very toxic in the body. So at least during the detox phase, organic raw if possible. Organic raw, I'm sorry, and sprouted if possible. You can also sprout them yourself. And gosh, I have so much information coming your way, but I will also send you guys the soaking and sprouting guide as well. So if you are interested in doing that, you can. I definitely recommend soaking your nuts, especially if you buy them in the bulk section where everyone has dipped their hand in them to taste test. So you'll be amazed if you soak nuts overnight, put a little pinch of sea salt in there. When you see the water in the morning, you will wish that you had been soaking all of your bulk products from the day you were born. Okay, moving on. Nut butter, organic, unsweetened, raw. Raw is required for the detox portion, so if you don't want to go for the raw, it's a no-go. Nut butter is a very special treat during the detox, so even though the raw varieties are more expensive, a little bit's going to go a long way. This isn't where you're going to sit and eat the whole jar. Although I have done that on a detox. We all know, you've all heard my detox stories by now. If you haven't heard the detox story where I ate my lip gloss, that's a good one. So you should ask me about that. Moving on to grains. Grains are included in this detox. We want to go for non-glutinous alkaline forming grains. Veggies, eat your heart out. So you can definitely fill up on veggies, avoiding things like carrots, corn, beets, and potatoes just for the time being, just for the detox. Fruit, we want to aim again for low glycemic fruits, lemons, limes. Don't you just love peeling a lemon and biting into it? It's a delicious snack. Just kidding. To point out too, before I forget, anywhere you see fresh lemon or lime in your recipes, I mean the juice. So you don't need to blend the entire fruit. Goji berries, which you'll find in the dried section. I usually soak my goji berries for a little bit. It plumps them up and makes them not so chewy. Apples, pears, which are so good right now. As for your berries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, acai, you're going to find those in the frozen section. So right now, those berries aren't in season. You can't buy acai fresh anyway. But blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries, not very good right now. They're imported and I had blackberries the other day and they weren't great. So if you buy them organic and frozen, they're picked at the peak of their ripeness and they're perfect for you. Grapefruit is also allowed. All other fruits are a no. So I love you, but don't ask. Organic produce, again, recommended. Alternate protein sources, other than your dark leafy greens, you're going to get some protein from your spirulina. You can eat your heart out with hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are a great snack because they're so dense in protein. They're also really rich in minerals, protein, healthy fats, super anti-aging food. So it's the Glow Girls Botox right there. So organic chickpeas, the only reason I put, before anyone asks, why aren't other beans and lentils and things like that allowed? I want you to use beans as little as possible. So I only put one kind in the hopes of limiting your dreams. So if you want to swap chickpeas out for kidney beans or whatever it may be, go for it. Lentils, I don't know. pretty tough to digest. So are beans. So soaked, sprouted, if all possible. You can also use organic protein powders that fit the above food protocol. So there are some sprouted rice proteins that would probably be okay, but I don't know, like I think just staying away from anything processed, and you don't really need such a high protein count right now, unless you're continuing with really intense HIIT workouts, and then you could, but we'll talk more about that on Sunday. You can also have pasture-raised organic eggs. So it's really important that they're pasture-raised. If they are, I call them the cheap eggs, but if they're the grain-fed, like typical supermarket eggs, they were most likely fed a soy-based diet and with gluten. You kind of eat what the chicken eats, which is gross. But as much as you can, pasture raised. Now, if you are doing the detox from a small town, I was born and raised in a small town. I know what it feels like to not have options. And if you're looking at this going, well, crap, that's my only real source of protein and satisfaction, I need my eggs, then girl, go for it. Eat the eggs. It's okay. Seasoning, fresh organic herbs, spices, sea salt is wonderful for you. Coconut aminos, coconut vinegar, apple cider vinegar, organic miso would be the only form of soy allowed, which is a fermented soy. You can use that in a soup as well. Otherwise, we want to avoid the soy-based seasonings that are highly processed, such as the Bragg's aminos. That's often noted as the health food, but it's really, really not. For beverages, water, of course. Alkaline water is great for you. You can have coffee. Can you believe this? What has happened to me? I've totally lost my edge. I'm letting you have coffee in week 1 of the detox. It's because I love coffee. Therefore, you get coffee. No, I'm just kidding. Organic, if you can do the, what is it called? The not single crop, but it's single origin coffee. It has to be organic, all right? The best part of waking up is not mycotoxins in your cup, which is going to be in cheap coffee. And we want to limit it to 1 cup max. Organic coconut water, you need to make sure it's not from concentrate, fresh pressed juices, but make sure they follow the approved fruit and veggie protocol. A lot of your juices, the cold pressed juices, are going to have beets or carrots. So just make sure that it has everything that is allowed. And you know, there's a lot of controversy right now with the high pressure and the cold process. Those juice folks are just battling right now in the media. And, you know, I think there are other things in the world that we can worry about, whether high pressure, pasteurized, and cold processed, blah, blah, blah. So as fresh as you can get it, we want to stay away from things like Naked Juice and Odwalla that we know are highly pasteurized and processed. But you know those $15 bottles of cold processed juice you see at Whole Foods? By golly, I'm going to trust that it's good for me. So, you know, things like that, like let's not stress over those details. That's not what's going to throw you off. If you can hear that little ding in the background, I'm getting really funny text messages from my Glow people. Hey, Natasha. And then we get into suggested supplementation for week 1. This was in your original guide. A teaspoon of spirulina or spirulina, gosh, I can't talk tonight, or chlorella blended into your green smoothie each day would be awesome. For those of you who are already on the superfood wagon, you could definitely bump that up to 1 tablespoon. For those of you who are new, I actually recommend blending in half teaspoon at a time, as crazy as that sounds, because there's nothing worse than blending it in and you freaking ruined your whole entire smoothie because it tastes like a pond. So I want you to enjoy life and not hate me. So try a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. And remember, these are very, very nutrient dense. So with all of your superfoods, a little goes a long way. A daily probiotic would be awesome. I will link you again to the one suggested in your email. I'm a big fan of Garden of Life. Health Force is great. Those 2 brands are definitely my favorite. Live Superfoods, of course, we love livesuperfoods.com. Livesuperfoods.com, livesuperfoods.com. All right, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil per day. Amazing for the metabolism. Amazing right now for cold and flu season, antiviral, antifungal. Work your way up to 2 to 3 tablespoons. We're not kidding around. It is a saturated fat that is immediately available for your body as energy. So as most of you know who follow the nutrition world, saturated fat has really gotten a bad rap that is pretty much false. So don't be afraid of coconut oil. And don't be afraid of coconut oil haters, but start with 1 tablespoon and see how you feel. It should give you immediate energy. You could also use MCT oil, which is a medium chain triglyceride oil. That's what coconut oil is, which that will be a higher concentrate. So I would start with coconut oil and work your way up to a more potent MCT oil. I also put in for week 1 suggested self-care protocol. There are a few things, such as choosing positive thoughts. You're awesome. You're gorgeous. You're amazing. Your hair looks great. Everything. Every time you pass by a mirror or a window, you should just like wink at yourself. Journal daily if you can. I love to do morning pages where you just kind of let yourself go and write for 5 to 10 minutes without censoring. It's really incredible what comes up. Dry brushing before you take a shower with the firm bristle brushes. Oil pulling with coconut oil or cold pressed sesame oil. That's where you take about a tablespoon of oil and you just swish it around. You swish it fiercely in between your teeth, just like you would, I don't know what else you would be doing this with, so that was a bad way to go into a comparison, but oil pulling, so good for you. It's great to kill bacteria in the mouth. It's great for the health of your gums, and it's great for detoxification. And I will link you to a blog post that talks more about oil pulling. It's also a great teeth whitener as well. Avoid gluten in your hair and skincare products. It's in most, so check the labels. I have a lot of clients who have struggled in the past with headaches, and the first thing I do if they are gluten-free is I check the labels on their shampoo, and it almost always has wheat protein because wheat protein gives our hair volume, so it's in a lot of products. So I would check the labels. And then I know this is a really tough one, but as much as you can avoid chemical skincare products and makeup over the next few weeks, it's instantly absorbed into your skin. It's actually worse than eating a chemical processed meal because at least when you eat the food, it has to go through these different channels before it's absorbed into your body. With skin, it's immediately absorbed into your bloodstream. So here we are, we're spending all this money on organic food. We're taking all this time to prep for a detox and doing all this work, which is so wonderful. And then we're slathering on our oil of Olay lotion, which is loaded with chemicals. It just doesn't make sense. So I know it's difficult because most of us, self included, I used to be all organic and then I started getting wrinkles and I quickly changed my tune to not all organic. But for the next few weeks, try as much as you can to switch over to a natural beauty routine. And I'm actually going to take a makeup free challenge. I do this once a year and I'm going to do it again coming up. I actually have a date, TMI, next week. So after my date is over, I'm going to do a makeup free challenge. And I will share the details with you if you want to join me. And then last but not least, moving your body daily, but keep it gentle. If you're in Seattle, we're just doing regular workouts because not everyone involved in our classes are necessarily involved in the Resolution Challenge. So it's kind of my responsibility to uphold the integrity of what our classes usually entail. But I will be encouraging those of you, especially once we get into week 2 of the detox, to back off and to just really listen to your body and sleep as needed. So I'm really talking bonus content, but let's just go through. I want to just quickly breeze over the recipes because the recipes in the detox are different than the recipes in phase 2. In the detox, as you're looking at these right now, you're probably noticing she didn't list amounts. Like she didn't list amounts, instructions, nothing. In phase 2, when we get to the superfood diet, you have regular recipes where it's going to say like 1 cup of, kale, half a cup of this, 1 tablespoon of this. The reason why I didn't in the detox is because I don't want anyone to feel limited in terms of portions. So I'm hoping this doesn't backfire and you underestimate. I'm hoping you overestimate. I'm a big fan of prepping once and eating twice, sometimes 3 times, my lady. But you do whatever feels best for you, but I just want you to know that during the detox, you shouldn't be hungry. You should be filling up on foods, and I just want you to eat your little hearts out. So the way that the recipes are listed are what I kind of envision as the order of ingredients from highest quantity to lowest quantity. But you can really just use your best judgment and whip up something fantastic. And keep in mind too that these are just samples. You can take any of the approved food items and make anything you want. So these are just to kind of give you an idea of what you can do. So you have smoothies, you have grain bowls, and you have salads. That doesn't mean you can't think outside the box and make different meals. I have on the sample meal plan, breakfast for dinner, avocado toast. You could roast up a big tray of veggies. Just get creative and do whatever you like. For the smoothies, just it's noted, blend with purified water. You want to aim to make about 12 to 16 ounces. Don't feel like when you make a smoothie, I always end up with like a 64-ounce smoothie. No matter what I do, I end up with a blender full, which is cool because you can just put it in a mason jar and drink it later. So don't feel like you have to chug a lug all at once. Put it in a mason jar and save it. Just shake it up. It'll be fine. It'll even last you to the next day. With your grain bowls, cook the grains as suggested. For added flavor, I definitely recommend cooking quinoa in like a veggie broth and adding spices to it. And whoops, sorry. Oh, I lost my screen share here. Okay. Anyway, so make sure you cook the grains. It's not noted, but I was just kind of hoping common sense that we all know to cook the grains. And then just whoops, I'm doing a really good job here. Add in the veggies, get crazy, spice it up. And I really encourage you within the Facebook community too. I would love to see some recipe swapping. That would be great. Salad instructions, again, like eat your little hearts out. You can turn any salad into a wrap by using collard leaves, nori, or the coconut wraps, which can be found at health food stores. And I really want you to feel free to add hemp hearts, to add a soft-boiled egg, a scrambled egg, however you like your eggs, quinoa, chickpeas to help you feel full. I don't want anyone to go through this experience feeling like they're starving. And I think that will really come down to getting over your fear of fats and really upping your fat content. So where you see avocado, I'll eat a whole avocado on a salad. I'll eat a whole avocado with a spoon. So just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of fat. Fat is your friend. So anyway, that's kind of what the recipes look like. So if you on that, let me know. But I want you to really let go of the need to follow something perfectly. And I want you to just feel like you can be creative and menu for week 1. And I'm really pages you're seeing, I had to retype really quickly. So this is not what it's supposed to look like, but this will give you an idea of what a meal plan looks like. I have AM, midday, PM, and then snacks. I'm not a really big fan of the eat every 2 to 3 hours. I think that you should eat when your body tells you that you need to eat, but I do understand that you work for a living and not everyone has the freedom to just, break away from their desk and eat whenever their tummy tells them. So if you have to structure out your meal planning, that's fine. It's, again, these aren't the kind of things we want to worry about. Just do your best with how your lifestyle works and we'll make it work for you. So you'll see that I've either pulled from a recipe or I've kind of put just a sample of a simple meal such as poached eggs with asparagus and sprouted grain toast. I love jicama with lime and guacamole for a snack, apple with almond butter. You can do anything from the approved food list. On Saturday, I put the quinoa pancakes because they're so good. Quinoa pancakes are really simple. You just soak a cup of quinoa overnight, more if you are cooking for more. Drain and rinse in the morning. And also, if you forget to soak the quinoa overnight, if you just soak for an hour in the morning, that's fine too. And then you want to blend with almond milk, add it slowly in a blender or your Vitamix until you reach a good, like a normal pancake batter consistency. Season it up with cinnamon and stevia if you like. Add berries because they're approved. And then just throw them on the pancake grill like regular pancakes with coconut oil. And you can top with a little bit of ghee, more berries. Delicious. It's a lovely Saturday breakfast. I also put leftovers on your meal plan. I'm a creature of habit. Another reason why I did the recipes the way that they're presented to you on the detox is that I very rarely follow like verbatim a recipe. I like to kind of just do, again, my own thing. So you'll see leftovers. Again, I encourage you to prep once, eat twice whenever possible. And on the detox, so for the next 3 weeks of your life, you can mix and match your meals, meaning you could have a smoothie for dinner if you wanted it. You could have a grain bowl for breakfast. You could have it for dinner. It doesn't matter. When we get into phase 2, we're going to be more structured, like the superfood diet, and I'm going to teach you where to place those macronutrients for the best performance throughout your day. But for right now in the detox, you can get crazy. Do you like? So that's it. And then I also have a grocery list. Now, not following my sample meal plan, this grocery list is pretty thing that's on. That is part 1. Again, I'm so bummed that we don't have like the full thing, but that just means that you get an additional present tomorrow. I'm gonna pop over to, I hear this little beeping, but I don't know what it means. It probably means that I have questions. Okay. Oh, hi. It's me again. All right, so that is phase 1, part of phase 1, part 1 of phase 1, and that's it. If you are in Seattle, I already said it at the very beginning, but just in case you're just tuning in, we have events on Sunday. We have a workout at 8:30, and then there are, I think I put 3 nutrition chats at Assembly Hall, which is within the Via 6 building at 6th and Lenora. And then I have 3 times for the grocery tour at Westlake Whole Foods. So the detox chat in the morning, it's great for those of you who have never done a detox. It's a really small group, so there's 5 max in every group. So we'll be able to not only chat about the detox, but also chat about your goals. So the only thing that you need to bring with you is a pen and paper. Arrive early and grab yourself a smoothie or a green juice from the juice bar there. And then at Whole Foods, we will walk through, and I want to talk about the detox, but I also want to talk just about nutrition in general. And we'll also have the opportunity within Whole Foods to stop in the supplement section, which I swear grows by the day. And we'll talk a little bit more about supplementation and supplementation for your goals and just answer any questions you have. And again, I limited the grocery store tours to 5 people as well, so that we can talk a little bit more one-on-one, and so that Whole Foods doesn't hate me, because we've rolled through there with 20 people before and they love it. So make sure you register for those. It is on bookio.com/fortheglow. Make sure you look under special events. For those of you who are lifetime members and you're wondering about your membership card, those are coming to you. I'll make sure that I have them in your hands by the first weekend of events, which is next weekend, that will be at the other studio. So because we're still at Belltown Ballet for the Sunday class, you don't need a membership card. You'll only need that for the classes that start the following weekend. If they're not mailed to you, which I'm not going to lie to you, this week is going to be crazy, and it might just be that you pick it up at your first class. So I think that's it. I'm going to finish your PDF, get everything to you guys by tomorrow. Chat in the community if you have any questions. I'm going to get caught up on email, and then we are also going to, it'll probably be later on Sunday night that I'll do the webinar. I've got to figure that out, don't I? Because I just booked my schedule. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll do a little chat on Saturday, but keep in mind too that your digital magazine will have a ton of videos embedded in it that really coach you along. You're going to love the digital book. It's like having a coach in your corner every step of the way. And as you'll read in the guide, the cool thing about Uberflip is that I can upload and add content all throughout. So in past resolution challenges, I'm always adding on or adding a link or sharing a link, and it ends up being where we have all of these different resources scattered all over the place. And with Uberflip, paper flip, I can continue to just update the online digital magazine and keep everything under one roof. And you'll see how it works once you have it. But it's a really cool way to present things to you. And it's compatible with everything from if you have an iPhone from 1987 or if you have one of the new iPhones, which darn it, I wish they'd stop making them bigger because now everyone can really tell that I'm outdated. Wah, wah, wah. But it's really cool and slick to view on everything. So you're going to love it. Anywho, that's it for me. Talking a lot. Very happy to have you on board. Welcome newbies. Welcome back veterans. We have quite the crew this year. I'm feeling pretty darn good about where we're heading. So excited. All right, that's it. Thanks, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.